Hello, I'm Diane Stover, and I'm the program director of the Protect Ohio Children Coalition. I thought it was time that we give an update to talk with our stakeholders and leaders about what we've been up to and where are we going with all of this. And so that's what this video is for. I'm going to give you just a few slides, and hopefully it'll help to define what it is that we're going to be doing and what we've been doing. Okay, sharing my slides, sharing my screen. And let's put it in slideshow. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, just a reminder, the Protect Ohio Children Coalition is a statewide grassroots volunteer organization dedicated to watching schools and school boards across Ohio. When schools take steps to bring indoctrination into the classrooms, we're here to shine light on the darkness of dangerous and radical materials being presented to children across the state of Ohio. We empower citizens to exercise their First Amendment rights to peacefully speak at meetings and petition their government and representatives for the redress of grievances. We urge citizens to run for office. And, we don't manage these school districts or the groups that are fighting. There's many groups fighting indoctrination in the schools, but we do have a lot of experience based on the years of knowledge and expertise that our group of leaders has. And so we're here to help, and we have tools and techniques and ability to do that. We're also advocating for legislation, and these are our legislative priorities. I took these right off of the Ohio Value Voters website. These are the bills that some of them have passed the House and moved to the Senate, but this is what's on our radar right now. The Parents' Bill of Rights, House Bill 8, House Bill 240, that allows public schools to employ chaplains, Senate Bill 83, that is to enact Ohio Higher Education Enhancement Act, the SAFE Act, House Bill 68, the Save Women's Sports Bill, House Bill 6, the bill that prohibits certain adult cabaret performances known as drag performances for minors, that's House Bill 245, and Ohio House Bill 183, that is to protect our bathrooms and locker rooms and facilities in our schools. And so these are the bills that we have on our radar screen. We have John Stover and Linda Harvey leading the efforts to monitor this and give updates, and where needed to testify in Columbus. And we're just getting the word out about these bills, and we advocate you and others. Our leaders in Protect Ohio Children will be there to testify, and this is what's on our radar screen to protect children. Okay, so what are we talking about when we say indoctrination? We started down this mission in 2017. John and I and Linda Harvey and others in our group are members of the Protect Child Health Coalition and National Coalition. And initially, our focus was on comprehensive sex education, Planned Parenthood curriculum. We've done a lot of work in that area. And during the pandemic, we saw that there was an explosion of critical race theory. This is that racial indoctrination that says you're either a victim, little Johnny is the victim because of the color of his skin, and then Joey in the class he's the oppressor because he's white and he has white privilege. So that's, just in a nutshell, what critical race theory is that racial ideology that they're indoctrinating children. And they have just saturated our schools with this. But the most insidious of all is social emotional learning, because all of the Planned Parenthood curriculum of comprehensive sex ed and critical race theory, they're all in SEL. And they've actually put social emotional learning into every course in the schools, whether it be math, science, English, for goodness sakes, a gym class. It's in all classes. And we know that it is in Ohio because our Ohio Department of Education made it one of their top priorities in 2019. And it brings all of this obscene pornographic materials into the classroom presented to minors that you could not, if you stood out on the street and handed it out, you would be put in jail for what they're presenting to children in the schools. In the state of Ohio, we have the evidence. We have whistleblowers. We know it's happening. Actually, we know from undercover videos that have been on, major news networks that they're tricking parents with this pornographic, obscene, racial, gender ideology. And here on the screen, you see, here's these cast of characters, these organizations. They're all married up together. They're all working together. Move On, Black Lives Matter, Act Blue, Glisten, Planned Parenthood, the Teachers Union. Look at the money they have. And they are in our schools. And they are on the move. Protect Ohio Children Coalition is here to help fight this in the schools. And we must fight it with everything we have to protect the children. Why do we bring up comprehensive sex education? Well, we'll be brief about this, but International Planned Parenthood's attack on the family destabilizes children and parents. They advocate that all persons have sexual human rights at birth. And we have given out thousands of these flyers to show the 15 harmful elements that we've identified. And the worst of all is that they're separating parents from their children by doing this indoctrination behind the parents' backs. We bring it up here and we ask you to make it a priority because guess what? The law is on our side. The law states exactly what should be taught in Ohio schools with regards to sex ed. And here's the thing. Sex education is required in all schools, starting in middle school in Ohio. So we need to make sure that the schools are teaching what's in compliance with that law that's been on the books for 20 years. And so Protect Ohio Children Coalition has had a very important role with this. In 2019, we were able to get the law revised and updated so that today an annual audit is required in every school district to the Ohio Department of Education to notify them, and it be placed on their website what they are teaching for sex education. We've had whistleblowers across the state of Ohio tell us, teachers, that students as young as the 4th grade have had to sit through Planned Parenthood training in a classroom and be counseled because they burst into tears and crying because what's put in front of them in a classroom. Today, that if anything is presented to a child in a sex education class that's not in compliance with Ohio Revised Code 3313.6011, the parents have to opt their child into it. They cannot present it without the parent being notified and opting into it. So we're very thankful that we were able to help with that in Ohio. This is why we say start looking at the sex ed curriculum in your schools, because all across the state, in every school, this is being sex ed is being taught. The law's on your side. Make sure your school district is complying, because even with the audit, some of the responses are vague. We're hoping in the next audit they'll be more transparent, and you can demand that the school district follow the law. Sexual risk avoidance sex education is what's required by 3313.6011. And this organization, Ohio Adolescents Health Centers, they provide curriculum for school districts, and the staffing for this sex ed that is fully compliant with Ohio Revised Code. Make sure your district is in compliance with the law. But even if they are in compliance with the law, this is now the new insidious monster that we're having to deal with in Ohio. Social emotional learning. The mothership of this is an organization called CASEL. And you can see from the screen here, this is who's funding it. This is the dark money. It's all of these same people. The Zuckerbergs, Bill Gates Foundation, Warren Buffett Foundation. It's the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control. It's GLSEN. It's the Human Rights Campaign, the LGBT organizations, the Clinton Foundation. You can see on here massive amounts of money funding this insidious curriculum in Ohio schools and across the nation. Social emotional learning is also known as the whole child framework. Can you tell me who has the right to the whole child other than the parent? Well, the government thinks they do. And with this social emotional learning, the government is God. You can see on the left-hand side, the acronym CASEL stands for the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. When they first brought this into Ohio, the way they defined themselves and what you'll find on their website is that they bring the process through which children acquire the skills to recognize and manage emotions, develop caring and concern for others, make decisions, establish positive relationships, handling challenging situations effectively. It's about those soft skills of kindness and empathy. Well, doesn't that sound just wonderful? Isn't that what everyone wants? But it's a bait and switch. It's a Trojan horse. It's sitting behind a technology wall, and it changes all the time. And it's not like a textbook that a parent can go into the school and request to review. No, it's not easily accessible. And so it's been a very, very difficult thing for us, for parents, for taxpayers to even know what this is. And so what they're saying, employers want less emphasis on academics. They want those soft skills, okay? They want, they're building a workforce for the future. Well, what do you think that is? Are you familiar with the ESG, environmental social governance? This is what they're building in the workforce. They're building a social scoring for students that snaps right in with the ESG that you find in the financial institutions. And instead of worrying about a child's IQ and their academics, they're more concerned with their EQ, with how they score around their emotional intelligence. You see how this snaps right in? You see how this is more insidious? This is what the Protect Ohio Children Coalition is putting primarily our main focus and attention to, is unraveling the very complex and very complicated nature of this so that we can help counsel and consult with parents about what this actually is. And because it's, as I said, it's a bait and switch to trick parents, to separate them so that they can have these conversations, but the parents don't even know what it is that they're teaching. And they bring it into each of the class subjects in a lab or in a short brief segment of time. It is so insidious because it's really hard to get your arms around. But guess what? Protect Ohio Children Coalition, we've been in the weeds, combing the weeds to find out what this is. And we are going to help parents with this and help parents to know what questions to ask, what open records requests they should be doing, to get to the bottom of what these school districts are teaching for social emotional learning. The harmful elements of SEL is that it undermines the parental rights. It separates the parents from their child. It promotes data collection through unbelievable surveys that ask questions that they have no right to even be asking. And they collect the data on the children and they run reports to see what their social scores are. We've had whistleblower teachers tell us that they have run reports based on the data collection that they're doing through panorama surveys. Panorama surveys. Isn't that interesting in Ohio? For us domestic terrorists to find out that our U.S. Attorney General's son-in-law, he actually is the owner and the perpetrator of panorama surveys and making millions, if not billions of dollars by collecting data on students, okay? This is what they're doing so that they can start scoring the students. They also are impersonating mental health with this, as if they have the skills and the credentials as psychologists to talk to students about their mental health. They're not qualified. And they're unqualified teachers and counselors asking personal questions, private information collected, and counseling them around climate, gender ideology, racial. I mean, it's just ridiculous what's happening with this social emotional learning. It's a religion. It is a religion. Can we teach our religion to the children? No, that was thrown out a long time ago, but they're building, the government is God, and this is their religion. So I pause here on this slide for a while because this is where, if you want to know what Protect Ohio Children is focused on, this is where we're focusing a lot of our attention. I am a co-chair of the National Protect Child Health Coalition, and myself and Marcia Metzger of Parents on the Level through that coalition is conducting a monthly social emotional learning committee meeting. And we are digging in the weeds and we are learning about the curriculum and what's happening with this. And experts, many experts across the nation are involved, and we're going to work towards finding out and sharing and helping. And the leaders that we have on the Protect Ohio Children's Coalition, they're going to be talking and training others. And you can take this information yourself. We're not here to just collect information. We want to share it with you. We can share the slides that I'm sharing with you now. We want to get the word out, and we want to help parents stop social emotional learning. On our heat map, we have a indoctrination heat map on the protectohiochildren.net website, and we have collected anonymous tips in 200 school districts on our heat map. You can go to the website and see if your school district is there and see what's been collected and share it with your community. Form a group. That's what we advocate for. Form a group. Some groups have actually established 501c3 organizations. Form a group There's strength in numbers. Get together with others in your community. Go to your school board. You don't have to be an expert. You can go and talk to your school board and let them know that you are opposed to what they're teaching in social emotional learning, CSE and CRT. Use our heat map. Use the resources you'll find on our website. Also, we have Facebook groups. We've divided the state of Ohio into 3 groups: North, Central, and South. And we have the Protect Ohio Children North, Central, and South Facebook groups where you can engage with experts and other parents, activists, and people in your own area, where you can collaborate and you can learn on a daily basis. We post information about what's happening with indoctrination in the schools. We also have a YouTube channel where you can watch other school districts and what they have done at their school board meeting. Some of our videos have been viewed by hundreds of thousands of people. And you can watch those videos and see what is happening in other districts. This slide, what we did was I went to our heat map, our 200 school districts, and where we have evidence of social emotional learning, in some cases, we actually learn the name of the curriculum. And this is the curriculum for social emotional learning that's been found in Ohio. And so we're laser focused, of course, on these, but when you put it together with what the national coalition is starting to uncover, it snaps right in. It's happening in Ohio, but it's happening in other states. So rather than recreate the wheel, we're helping each other. And that's what we like to do, is share the information. We are going to be doing training, and we're going to be giving out information. Linda Harvey, who is a national media person who writes and does media across the nation about indoctrination in the schools. She has done a video, and she's one of our board members, about the connection between comprehensive sex ed and social emotional learning. Working with Marcia Metzger, she's also created a guide that is available on our website. We're going to be putting these tools and techniques together, and we're going to be bringing Marcia into Ohio to do some training. And we want to get the word out. We have to get into the weeds about this. We can't just, give bumper sticker information about what indoctrination is. We have to get into the weeds. We have to drill down and find out what is in this curriculum and how are they teaching this and where it is. And that's what we've been doing. And that's what we're going to continue to do. If you are interested in being a part of our committees and our leader meetings, we meet the Protect Ohio Children leaders. We have strategic meetings monthly so that we can continue to learn and share what we're learning with others so that we can be more knowledgeable about what it is that's taught in our schools. This slide is sad. The Cuyahoga County Board of Health, for years we've been watching what they are doing. But you see, I have the image on here that says no to issue 1 on November 7th. We have to work as hard as we can to defeat the radicals from putting abortion, contraception, and all manner of gender ideology into our Ohio Constitution. But you see what the Cuyahoga County Board of Health is doing right on their website, where it's circled. It says services to anyone over the age of 13 without a parent or guardian. And in the narrative, in the first paragraph, it says without immigration status. So basically, anybody can go to the Cuyahoga County Board of Health And they can do right now, they're doing it right now. What they intend to ingrain into our Constitution in November, they're doing it now. 13-year-old minor can go to the Cuyahoga County Board of Health, get an abortion without the parents knowing about it, and they don't even have to be a citizen here. See, they're doing it now. And I just want to mention that because that too has been a big focus for us. But we just decided, well, we're going to have to multitask. We have to do this, vote no on issue 1, but we have to keep going with our work at Protect Ohio Children to protect children from indoctrination in the schools. School's back in session and children are sitting in classrooms. Hundreds of thousands of children are being indoctrinated in Ohio every single day. We also are members of the Save Title IX National Network, and we are advocating and calling for the defunding of the U.S. Department of Education. On our website, you can go to the Save Title IX Network website and you'll see all kinds of information. Fortunately, our Ohio Attorney General has recently reaffirmed with Protect Ohio Children and Ohio Value Voters that he will fight this. He will fight this if Biden does in fact impose it upon us. If you go to protectohiochildren.net, you can click on the Stop Biden's Title IX Transformation, the Ohio campaign, and we are on the front lines and we intend to fight this all the way. So I hope that this video helps to understand what we're about and what we're working on. Legislation, Stop Title IX, no on issue 1 in November 7th, and stop social emotional learning and indoctrination in our schools. We're here to help. We get anonymous tips every day. We engage with the people. We're on the front lines. Our leaders, you know, when you put it all together, it's a major force in the state of Ohio. It's an honor for me to serve you. I am mostly a person who is administrative. I do some speaking, but when you look at the team of people that we work with, it's a massive amount of experience and knowledge here to help get the word out and help people to understand what they need to do to stop indoctrination in the schools. I guess the last thing I need to mention is that we do believe that in some school districts, the only thing you can do is throw the radicals out of your school district by voting for conservative school board members. Make sure you're aware of who the conservatives are running for school board in your district and do everything you can to help them in their campaigns to bring back normalcy into our schools in the state of Ohio. And I thank you so much for all that you're doing to protect the children. And if you have any questions, you can always send a message to tips@protectohiochildren.net. We're here to help. Thank you.